It's been a pretty wild last few weeks for the Fantastic Four in the MCU, and we know just around the corner we have San Diego Comic-Con, where we've heard from multiple insiders that we should be expecting a major announcement, if not a few major announcements, possibly the rewriting of Phase 5 and Phase 6, and completing the announcements for Phase 6 and the movies that we'll be releasing. But Marvel's been under a lot of pressure, and one of their big flagship, light at the end of the tunnel projects has been Fantastic Four. And in today's video, we want to break down everything that we believe we know about the Fantastic Four. That's cast, characters, plot points, villains. We're going to be diving into all of it today. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I also have a special channel announcement. I can officially reveal that I have signed an exclusive deal with Twitch, where the channel will be doing its live podcast, Culture Catch-Up, on that channel multiple times a week. Now, the schedule will vary, so it's important that you go and follow that Twitch so you don't miss out on any of those live streams where you guys control the content, the topics, the discussion, the theories, the breakdowns. We'll do our live watch parties over there. The first 10 subscribers to the channel will be getting an exclusive founder badge, and anybody that follows can turn on notifications so they don't miss out on those streams. I'll be sure to do an announcement here on the channel before we do our first live stream, but the link to this Twitch is in the description and in the comment section down below. All right, let's dive into this video. I think we just have to start with cast. This seems to be all but confirmed. I'm sure you've heard from several other insiders or other TikTokers or YouTubers that the cast for the Fantastic Four seems to be officially finalized. Now, nothing is final until we get that full official announcement, which we're expecting at San Diego Comic-Con, but here is what we've heard. For Sue Storm, Margot Robbie has accepted the role. For Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, Adam Driver has accepted the role, and that one seems to have been cemented and solidified for quite some time. So our Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic will be Adam Driver and Margot Robbie. Then, for The Thing, we're hearing Daveed Diggs will be playing that role. Now, Ben Grimm in the comics was Jewish, and we've heard from a lot of different sources that Marvel wanted to hold up this standing. They wanted to keep to that comic book accuracy. So, Daveed Diggs is also Jewish. Now, we're also going to talk a little bit about my thoughts about which character and how they're looking with these actors after we finish the entire rollout. However, the Human Torch has also come in with a solidified name in the cast. And we're hearing that Sue Storm's brother Johnny Storm is going to be Paul Mescal, whose name had been thrown around a lot in the last recent weeks. So Adam Driver, Margot Robbie, Daveed Diggs, and Paul Mescal, those will be, according to every insider, our Fantastic Four come the official announcement. Now, everything is always subject to change, and you guys are very aware of that. But what do we think of this cast? Haha! We can leave the insider report and we can talk a little bit about how does this feel for reals. And I want to be really honest about it because I really don't think it's that great. I don't love Adam Driver for Mr. Fantastic. I don't love Margot Robbie for Sue Storm. Daveed Diggs is honestly here or there because the way the actor looks, it doesn't really matter. They're going to be either mocap or CGI for the entire movie. And I think Daveed Diggs actually has a fun personality that I would love to see play this role. So I'm actually fine with that. And then Paul Mescal, let's see what he shows up with. I'm willing to give him an opportunity. But overall, as the four of them, I think they could have done better. Now I'm speaking out of turn, and I'm sure a lot of you will go ahead in the comments section and give me a hard time about this. But I do want to be honest. I've heard a lot of reactors, YouTubers, TikTokers, all talking about how great this cast is going to be. And I actually have some serious questions about the chemistry between Adam Driver and Margot Robbie. And although I think Margot Robbie will do a fine job and she looks the part, I don't feel like that personality, that Harley Quinn personality that she gives, matches that of Sue Storm. I just think it's the wrong actress. And I think they had a lot of really good options. And then Adam Driver, for me, I'm just having a really hard time connecting with that. Not only the Adam Driver, Margot Robbie together, but also just the Adam Driver as Reed Richards on his own. I think that that's a little off base as well. But again, that's just my perspective, what I'm kind of seeing and feeling. Nothing is concrete. And any of these actors could turn around and absolutely shut me up by doing a fantastic job. So that's just as possible. But based off of first reactions, I'm genuinely a little bit worried. And I think the Fantastic Four have a very important weight on their shoulders to try to freshen up the MCU. We've seen Doctor Strange, we've seen Black Panther, Iron Man, Captain America. So all these reinventions of these characters, they're going to get a little slower, a little older, a little less fun. But here is a new team with a fresh opportunity, and that's something that I think could be a lot of fun, but the casting has to be perfect. And that's something Marvel typically hasn't failed us with. I can think of very few characters that I'm like, wow, they picked the wrong person for that role. But my initial gut is a little bit worried. I do have to be honest. I don't love their selections. I don't think they go very well together necessarily. And I definitely don't know how I feel about some of those individual performances. But I hope they prove me wrong. I really, really do, especially if this is who we end up with. But further on, I want to talk more about the Fantastic Four, not just about the cast. I know that's been some pretty hot news, but there's actually a decent amount of plot information, character information, and things we need to talk about, like the big bad of the Fantastic Four movie, who is supposedly going to be Galactus. Now, I don't know if this means Galactus is going to be defeated in the Fantastic Four movie, if we're going to be introduced to him and he's going to be looming in the background, kind of like how Kingpin is the big bad of the street-level MCU. He showed up in the first series, which was the Hawkeye series, and now he's going to be in the Echo series, maybe anything going on with the Punisher, Daredevil, maybe in Spider-Man 4 or forward beyond that. So I'm really excited for that big bad. He wasn't completely defeated, even though, spoiler alert, he got shot in the face. We know he's going to be coming back, not only from the comics, but from the rumors we've been hearing about that street-level MCU. So Galactus has been chosen for the Fantastic Four. I don't see him being defeated in one movie, but the other thing to keep in mind is Galactus is not necessarily a bad guy. He's a scary creature that is capable of destroying planets simply by breathing, but he doesn't necessarily have evil intentions. He is, in part, a force that balances the universe. I'm sure him and Thanos would have seen eye to eye, but the difference is Thanos was making a choice and Galactus is simply existing. I think we're going to be a little bit more involved with his heralds, who we heard won't originally be Silver Surfer, but perhaps somebody different. So we will have a chance to see different heralds, maybe different interactions with Galactus as Galactus is searching for a herald, eventually leading to the Silver Surfer being selected either at the end of the Fantastic Four movie or in this special presentation that we've been hearing so much about for the Silver Surfer. Either way, a lot of people seem to believe that Antonio Banderas will in fact be voicing and be the face of Galactus. There's a video going around of him getting a face molding, which people think might be for the helmet of Galactus, and they're going to use his face to kind of build on the CGI looking Galactus, which would be really cool. And I'm actually good with Antonio Banderas doing Galactus. I think he's a really fun actor, and I think that's a good pick. So I'm curious to see how that all works out overall as far as the Galactus storyline. But as far as the plot goes in the story, we're also hearing from Kevin Feige on this one specifically that we shouldn't be expecting an early story for the Fantastic Four. In fact, it should be an established Fantastic Four that we should be expecting to interact with. One where Reed and Sue are already married and have kids, and one where they already understand and know and use their powers. I'm very curious to see how they fit this in. The real, for me, only way that it makes the most sense is if they were exploring the quantum realm and were able to escape maybe by the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, or early on in the movie they show that escape and then they show up already kind of ready to go with their powers and their understanding of that. I'm hoping that's the way they do it. I am curious also, when do they start teasing the Fantastic Four? Do they show up in different movies? Do we start getting post-credit scenes where that's going to start explaining that part of the story? And then are we going to jump into the Fantastic Four? Because I'm honestly okay skipping the origin story. All of us, for the most part, understand the origin story, and it will be explained at a later date. But how is it going to be done? Is it going to be organic? Is it going to make sense? And I'm really hoping that that is the case. Because I go back to my same point. The Fantastic Four are a group with a lot of weight being thrown on their shoulders. So much so that maybe moving forward beyond Phase 6, the end of the multiverse saga, the Avengers might not be the central role anymore. In fact, maybe we can expect the X-Men, well, certainly we can expect the X-Men somewhere along what we believe will be the mutant saga, and the Fantastic Four to more take the central role of the heroes, of the hero groups and organizations. And maybe we'll have the Young Avengers or the New Avengers also running around, but it won't be all Avengers focused. Maybe the big movies moving forward won't be the Avengers movie, but it would be a Fantastic Four sequel or an X-Men movie. And that would be really fun, a good way to switch up this odd pace that Marvel has been at. And they've been hearing what we've been saying through Phase 4, and we're getting a reorganization of that. They've brought back a CEO who understands quality over quantity, and we've been getting these messages, and they've been getting our message, and I'm excited for San Diego Comic-Con, where maybe we might get to touch on that a little bit. I find it hard to believe, or rather unlikely, that Kevin Feige is going to stand up during San Diego Comic-Con and say, "You're right, guys, Phase 4 sucked." I think it's more likely he's going to say, "Hey, we've developed a new plan, something we want to try, and we're going to head in this direction," and that's definitely where we're going. And to be completely honest, Phase 4 didn't suck. It had some weird detached moments, some bad writing, some bad CGI at times. They were just pumping out too much, and I think the problem is we weren't getting a break. We weren't able to, although a lot of you have disagreed with me on this in the past, we weren't able to stop and appreciate the lack of movies and shows to be grateful for when one did show up. But all the same, I'm really excited for the Fantastic Four, even given my negative remarks, because I am open-minded enough and capable to maybe hope that somebody else is able to do a good job that I wouldn't have picked. I'm not working for Marvel. I'm not a casting professional. I don't see what's going on behind the scenes. I hear a couple of supposed reports from insiders, and I'm just giving my honest opinion because I want to be open and transparent with you guys about what I think and not simply, "Oh, everything is great," because it might not be. But let me know what you think. Not just about the cast, but about the characters we're expected to see, about the plot, about jumping into maybe like the earlier, later days of the Fantastic Four and not doing an origin story. I'd love to hear what you guys think, but also be sure to let me know what you guys think when we are live later on this week. Look for an announcement on the channel, but also be sure to click the links in the description or in the comment section down below and drop a follow. Those live streams will be coming and they're going to be a lot of fun. We always had a blast back in the day. If you've been to them, you know. If you have never done one before, I highly recommend giving it a look. Also, if you haven't subscribed here, consider doing so, and I will catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture. Thanks, guys.